Hey, what's up, YouTubers? Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to discuss Week 2 NFL betting handicapping here. We're going to first I'll talk about Week 1. I'll just tell you how I did. I had a good week as far as NFL is concerned. I'll just run down my list here real quick. I bet Chicago 3.5 units. The over in that game 1 unit. I lost both of those, so I was down. Started the week down 4.5 on a Thursday. Redskins 2 units. That was a win. Miami 2.5 units. We lost there, so now I'm still down. Now I'm down 5 units. Then I went on a little run here. I did KC 4.5 units. The Rams 6 units. Tennessee 3.5 units. And Indy 2.5 units. And we hit on all of those. The Indy was a 4 o'clock game rather. Tennessee, Rams, KC. Those were all 1 o'clocks. We got ahead a little bit. Seattle and the Giants. Seattle, I did 4.5 units. The Giants, I did 3 units. Dropped both those ones. Tampa Bay, I did 3.5 units. I really like Tampa Bay in that spot. And Jameis Winston's just a bad quarterback. He's terrible. Then going into the Sunday night game, I was down a little bit because of my college bets, but we did 7.5 units on the Patriots and 2.5 on the over, so we profited 5 units there. And then I really, really liked the Texans on Monday night. I thought the spread was off. It should have been a 3-point spread. 7 was way too many. I did 12.5 units on the Texans. 12.5. That was a win. I also bet the over for 2.5 units, and then Oakland for 3.5 units. So at the end of the week, I was up 24 units on NFL betting. If you're going by units of 100, that's $2,400 week 1. Unfortunately, I didn't make a video. I just kind of bet as I went along. But this week I'm making a video here. I'll probably run down each game, tell you who I would pick, and then at the end of the video I'll give you my picks for the week and how much I'll be betting. All right, well, we'll start on Thursday night. Tampa, Carolina. Both these offenses looked bad last week. Tampa they turned the ball over 3 times. Jameis threw 3 picks. He fumbled the ball twice, but fortunately the defense didn't recover any of them. As you see, not the public, everybody loves Carolina here. The public and sharps are all over Carolina. They're getting about 80% of the bets. I got my papers here. I'm flipping through. Yeah, they get about 80% of the bets, 83% of the money. If I was going to bet this game, I'd bet Tampa just because 7 points. It's a division game. Both the offenses are bad. Really, what I'm looking at here is the total. I don't see the total. But the total it started at 51.5. It's down to 49. I think both of those numbers are way. It should be in the 45 range probably. Cam Newton didn't look good last week. It's the first time in his career he had negative rushing yards. Jameis Winston didn't look good. I know these defenses aren't great, but these offenses are bad. If I'm betting this game, I'm taking the under. Taking the under for sure. Which, I may. It's not going to be one of my 6 picks, my top 6 picks here, but I'll probably take the under on this. Slow-paced game. All right, we'll move on. Indy, Tennessee. As we know, last week I hammered Tennessee. I'd seen that coming a mile away. Cleveland's overrated. They went 7-9 last year. Tennessee went 9-7, and Cleveland was giving them points. Yeah, so here looks like the market average 66% of the bets are on Tennessee. About 62% of the money is on Tennessee. This is a game I'll probably avoid. I think the number's right on. It's a 3-point game. It could swing either way. If I was forced to bet it, I would take the Colts. Division game. They had a tough matchup last week against the Chargers, I believe they played. But I just I'll stay away from this game for the most part. It's a dangerous game. And we'll move to the next one. Chargers Detroit. As you see, 79% of the bets are on the Chargers. But 38% of the money is on Detroit, which tells me that the Sharps are on Detroit. The Sharps are on Detroit at home. Their offense, they got out to a fast start last week, I believe. I believe they had a lead there in the game. They let the Cardinals come back. Their defense isn't very good. Chargers are a pretty good team, even though they struggled last week against. Let me pull up last week's schedule here. Give me 1 second. I apologize. I should have done this before we started. Here we go. Who did the Chargers play? Yeah, they played Indy. They were -6, and that's where they won by 6. So, and then Detroit, Arizona. Yeah, Detroit got out to a 17-3 lead at one point. So, their offense was great in the first half. They only put up 7 points in the second half, but that was on the road. We're going home here. This game will probably slow down a bit. I'd like to see a total on this here. Detroit's offense will slow down as compared to last week because Arizona was the fastest paced team in the league. Detroit's usually one of the slowest paced teams in the league. But Detroit played up to Arizona's pace last week. And here at home, if you're gonna take somebody, it's got to be Detroit. The public's all over the Chargers. The Chargers are traveling. I like Detroit here, +2.5. This is a game another one I'll probably avoid. I just think we can get our money in on better spots. But if I had to bet it, it would be Detroit for sure. And the total on that game's 48. I think that's a little high. If I was forced to bet the total, it'd be under. But that's another game. I'll avoid. I'll avoid it. But if you're gonna bet it, go with the Sharps, Detroit. Moving on to the next game. New York Giants, Buffalo Bills. Giants, the first 15 minutes of the game, their offense looked sharp. Eli looked sharp. Then the Cowboys kind of pulled away there. Cowboys looked great. Giants defense did not look so great. The Bills, they were down 0-16 at one point. They turned the ball over 3 times. Came back, won that game against the Jets. But here you see the public bets are on the Giants, which surprises me a bit. Looking through my papers here. But the money is on Buffalo. The money, which tells me the Sharps are on Buffalo. But here I'll probably take a piece of the Giants. I like the Giants offense. I think they have some tools. Captain check down Eli. He's going to check the ball down, but he's going to be very conservative. He's going to play conservative, and I think they can put points on the board and overcome the Bills here. I'll put a small bet on the Giants at home. I think they're not going to be as bad as they were last year. They have Saquon, Evan Ingram. So this game here, I'll put a bet in on the Giants, +2.5. The fact that they're getting points, +2.5. Plus the home field advantage is usually about 3 points, gauged at 3 points in the NFL. So that means that the cappers think that the Buffalo Bills are a 5.5 point better team here at a neutral field, and I just don't think that's the case. I don't think they're that much better than the Giants, but we'll see as the season progresses. I think the Giants could be a sneaky team here, even though their defense didn't look great. Move on to the next game. This is one of my favorite games of the week. Arizona Cardinals. It looks like it's 54% of the average. Oh no, it looks like it's 61. I can't read this on here. But the Arizona Cardinals, it's an even split here, pretty much right down the middle. 49% of the money is on Arizona, 51% on Baltimore. I'm all over Arizona. I'm thinking about betting the money line on this Arizona game. And 13, 14 points. I get it. Baltimore smoked Miami last week, 59 to 10, whatever it was, 59 to 10. Cardinals went to overtime. Um, they were at home against Detroit, but 14 points is way too many. Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, young quarterbacks. Um, this could be a tight game. This could be a real close game. I don't think the Ravens' offense is as good as they looked last week. Their defense, we know their defense is going to be good. Cardinals are missing some key players here. They're missing Patrick Peterson. He's still suspended. Their other starting cornerback is also injured. The Ravens, it looks like they're going to miss Jimmy Smith this week. The total on this game is, let me take a peek here. Total on this game is 41.5. No, it is. The total on this game opened at 41.5. And what happened is when the Ravens dismantled the Dolphins, all this money came in on the over. All kinds of money. They think that the Baltimore's offense looks sharper than it originally was supposed to be. So the number moved from 41.5 to 47. So 47, I think that's high. Like I said, two young quarterbacks. Baltimore's got a good defense. I like Arizona. I like the under. We'll talk about that more with my picks later. For now, we'll move on to the next game. Patriots, Dolphins. Everybody's on the Patriots. Sharps are on New England. Public's on New England. 80. Let's see with the money here. 69% of the money is on New England, which means that more sharps are on the Dolphins than New England because, as you see, New England has 78% of the bets, but only 69% of the money. But 18.5. Miami was atrocious last week. New England was awesome. They smoked Pittsburgh out of their shoes, 33 to 3, I believe it was. But New England doesn't travel to Miami well. They're 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 in Miami. I know this Miami team's rebuilding. They don't look good. But 18.5, this is still an NFL team. Last week's probably a bit of an anomaly. Most of their games will probably be, 2 touchdown games. 18.5, that's a 3 touchdown game. Then again, New England can have this. It could be 28-point game by the half. But Miami should be able to put some points on the board. Hopefully, if they get 17 points, New England has to score 36 points to cover this. I'm taking Miami at home. I'm gonna put a little bit of cash on Miami here. Just 18.5. That's just too much. This is an NFL team. This isn't. They should be able to hang. They have a 0% chance of winning, but they could cover the spread. 18.5. I like it. I mean, even if New England's up, 42-14, and Miami, gets a couple late scores, a field goal, touchdown, they can backdoor this easily. It's just way too many points. I'll take my chances. The next game on the slate here, Cowboys Redskins. We all seen Dallas dismantle the Giants last week. The Redskins they hung tough with Philly. They actually were out to quite a lead, and then Philly came back and got them in the end. It actually looked like the Redskins weren't going to cover, but they scored a touchdown with less than 2 minutes left and covered the spread after being out ahead 17-0 at some point with a 10-point spread. This fell apart in the second half. Everybody's all over Dallas here. 86% of the money's on Dallas. 80% of the bets are on Dallas. This is a game I'll stay away from. It feels like a trap to me. It opened at 6.5. It's down to 4.5, and the money's coming in on Dallas, which is odd to me. This is a trap game all day. If I was forced to bet it, I would take Washington. It's a divisional game. They're at home. They're getting 4.5 points. All the public's on Dallas. It just feels like a trap. I'll avoid it. The total on that game is 46.5. I have no interest. Let's move on to the next one. Jacksonville at Houston. Uh, Last week the Jags played the Chiefs. They let's see. Let's take a look. I just want to see what the final score of that game was. I know that Jacksonville did not cover because I put 4.5 units on the Chiefs. 26-40. So that Jacksonville defense that's supposed to be, vaunted defense. They gave up 40. They gave up 40 last week against KC. I know they're a top flight offense, but so is Houston. Houston here is getting 54% of the bets, and 54% of the bets and 20% of the money. 20% of the money. That means the sharps are all over Jacksonville, all over them. Because the public bet is betting Houston. 80% of the money is on Jacksonville, but that's something where a large group, like one of those groups that bet, they put down their big bets. If they make $1 million bet, that's gonna push that money way up there, and that feels like one of these bets here where the sharps are on Jacksonville. Somebody put a large chunk of money on them here. So if I'm betting this game, I'm taking the points. 9.5. It's too many points for this game. I know they got their this rookie quarterback coming in, Minshew. He had a great game last week. I know KC's defense is nothing to write home about, but let's take a look at his statistics. Last week, Minshew was 22 of 25 for 2 touchdowns with a pick. Jacksonville's going to hang. This is a division game. 9.5 points. Too many. I love this game. I'm actually going to make a little change here on my picks. We're throwing Jacksonville in there. Plus 8, plus 9.5. We're at 9.5 right now. All right. Next game we're going to look at here is Seattle-Pittsburgh. Seattle had a hard time last week with Cincinnati. Cincinnati looked better than they were cracked up to be coming into the year. They're supposed to be atrocious, but they look better. Seattle's offensive line did not look good. I know Chris Carson got in the end zone twice, but Russell Wilson, he went down a whole bunch of times. I can pull up the stats for that real quick. As I'm talking about this, I'm just kind of looking at my phone, pulling out stats. Let's see how many times Russell Wilson got sacked 4 times for 35 yards. Not as bad as I thought, but their offensive line did not look good, which is concerning. Chris Carson had 3.1 yards a carry. Rashad Penny had 3 yards a carry. It's not good. Not good. Pittsburgh obviously looked bad. Their offense got off to a bad start. Their team got off to a bad start in general. The money here is the public is on the Seahawks. This is a game. The sharps are all over Pittsburgh, and I agree with them. You expect Pittsburgh to bounce back. They're at home. Yeah, with 57% of the bets on Seattle, 59% of the money is on Pittsburgh. Love Pittsburgh here. -4. Their offense should get on track here. I expect this game to Pittsburgh's going to cover the spread. Hopefully, I'll lay a little bit on them. They're at home. They always look good at home. They're a different team on the road and home. It's the same thing every year. Big Ben gets home. He starts slinging the ball around. Seattle is also a different team on the home at home and on the road, and they're on the road here. They were at home last week and they didn't look sharp, and now they're going on the road. They're coming all the way to the East Coast. I think this is a good spot to bang the Steelers. Yeah, so I'll be in Pittsburgh, and we'll move on to the next game. San Fran, Cincinnati. San Fran, they had a nice outing last week. I believe it was 31-17. They beat Tampa Bay. I was on Tampa Bay. I didn't realize how bad Jameis Winston was. That 31-17. Two of their scores were pick sixes, so I don't think this offense is what it's cracked up to be. Jimmy G did not look sharp. The total on this game is 45, which is right about in the middle. We're getting kind of low, in the low end here, which you expect for San Fran, Cincinnati. Cincinnati, as we just talked about last game, they gave the Seahawks a hell of a time at home, a hell of a time. But Seahawks squeaked it out. 58% of the bets are on Cincinnati and 63% of the money. But I feel like the line is on the wrong side here. Yeah, Cincinnati shouldn't be getting points. Cincinnati should not be getting points. Now it's -2. It opened at +1.5. Now it's -2. Okay, so it's about right. This is a game I'll avoid. I'll avoid this game. It's two garbage teams. They'll both be garbage this year. I won't put any money on either of these guys. If I was forced to, I would go Cincinnati. They're at home. They got the new offensive coordinator, Zach Taylor. Their offense looked sharp last week. Andy Dalton had a career day. John Ross had a career day. But it could be a fluke week. We'll see. If I was to bet it, it'd be Cincinnati. But I'll stay away. I'll avoid it. We're going to move on to the next game here. I was looking at the KC Oakland, but we're going to move on to Minnesota Green Bay. Looks like 62% of the public is on Minnesota, 38% Packers. But as far as money is concerned, Minnesota, it's 49, Green Bay 51. So that tells me that the Sharps are all over Green Bay here at -3. Green Bay's at home. Their offense didn't look great last week. The Vikings got out to a lead. Kirk Cousins only threw 10 passes, which is an anomaly. He threw 10 passes. They won by double digits. It's only happened a handful of times in the NFL. The total here, I'm looking for the total is what I'm doing. Total here is 46. For me, that seems a bit high. Minnesota's going to run the ball. They're going to run the clock. I'll avoid that, but I will lay the 3 points with Green Bay. I'll take Green Bay -3. I might put a few units on them, but for the most part, I won't get crazy. Maybe a 1 unit. Green Bay, divisional game. You never know. Minnesota could upset them there, but I think it would be an upset. Aaron Rodgers, he's going to turn it around here at some point, and this is the spot probably. On to the next game. We're going to move on to the 4 o'clocks. All of those 1 o'clocks are over. Hopefully, we're going to the 4 o'clocks with some money. Oakland getting 7.5 points here. Kansas City is getting 73% of the bets. Kansas City is getting 33% of the money. The Sharps are all over Oakland. This is one of their big games this week. I like Oakland. They looked sharp last week. They went in, they spanked Denver. Their offense looked good. Tyrell Williams, Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs. They all looked pretty decent last week. Derek Carr, he looked good. Kansas City defense did not look good. They're only at 7.5 points on the road, division rival. You got to hit Oakland here. If you're betting this game, it's got to be Oakland. If you're going KC, you're treading dangerous waters. It's a trap game. Public's on KC. Oakland's going to cover this 7. That's one of my picks of the week. Now we'll move on here to the next game. I'm just seeing if I missed anything. Nope, I did not. Next game, Saints versus Rams. I have a little note here. It looks like the Sharps are all over the under. 68% of the money is on the under here. The total is, let's see what this total is. 54. The Rams, they put up 30 last week. The Saints put up 30. For some reason, the Sharps are all over this under. I don't like it, but I'm just trying to inform you guys, let you know where the money is being laid. So the Saints Rams, we've seen the matchup twice. I believe they played twice last year in the playoffs. Saints got hosed. We all seen it. Right now, the Saints are getting 2.5 points. I like the Rams here. I know Jared Goff looked subpar last week, but he was playing Carolina defense. They're decent defense. The Saints off defense is not very good. They didn't look very good last week. They gave up a bunch of big plays to Houston. I expect the Rams offense to get on track. I like the Rams. I like the Rams. If I had to pick this game, I would take the Rams, but I doubt I will. I doubt I'll put any money on this. This is another one of, it could be a barn burner. We never know what goes on this game. It'd be nice if this game was in week 8, where we kind of knew what these teams were going to be, But for now, I'll just stay away from that one. If I had to bet it, I'd take the Rams, but we'll stay away. We'll move on to the next game. Bears versus Broncos. 82% of the public bets are on the Bears. I'm looking here to see where the money is. 82 and 72% of the money is on the Bears. So both these teams look not good last week. The Bears put up 3 points on the opening day. 3 points. It was pathetic. The Broncos put up. I'm looking here. Broncos put up 16, but a lot of that was garbage time. This is a game I'll likely avoid. I see the Bears are giving 2.5. They shouldn't be. The Broncos at home. If I was to bet it, I would take the Broncos just because they're the home team. The Bears are traveling. All the money's on the Bears. This is a trap game. This feels like a trap. I could see Joe Flacco coming out, having a consistent game. Neither of these teams being able to put any points on the board, but Broncos, squeezing it out by a field goal here or a few points. If I'm betting this game, I would lay the money line, 2.5 points. I know it's going to be a tight game. 2.5 points can make the difference, but if the Broncos win, they're going to beat them by a field goal. The total on this game's 40.5. That's so low. These teams are bad. I don't know if Chicago is bad, but Denver's going to be bad. We'll see if they can Chicago and get their offense on track. For now, if I'm betting it, I'm taking Denver. Sunday Night Football. We got Philly and Atlanta. 76% of the bets on Philly, 24% on Atlanta, and 83% of the money is on Philly. Everybody likes Philly. Everybody likes Philly here except for me. Atlanta got off to a slow start against the Vikings. The Vikings have a good defense. Philly also got off to a slow start, rather. Gave up a bunch of big plays to Washington receivers. Vernon Davis had a 40, 50-yard play. This McLaurin kid, he should have had 2 long touchdowns, but I believe he just got overthrown on one of them. Philly traveling to Atlanta. I like Atlanta here. I like Atlanta getting a point. If Philly's defense is going to give up big plays, Atlanta will take advantage of that. They got Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Freeman, Ito Smith, whoever's coming out of the backfield. They didn't look good last week, but this is their home opener. They can get on track. I see Philly getting on track here. I see this as a trap game for Philly. I'm sorry. I apologize. I see Atlanta getting on track here. This is a home game for them, home opener. Trap game for Philly. I'm going to lay some money on Atlanta here. And then Monday Night Football. Browns versus Jets. We see that the money is on the Browns. Everybody's on the Browns. The public's on the Browns. Jets, not so much. Jets got out to a lead last week. Ended up blowing it. The Browns just got smoked out their shoes. This is a garbage game. This is really a garbage game. I'll take the Jets just because they're at home. You know what? I think I'll ride with Cleveland here. -2.5. They should be able to put up some points. They got to get that offense going. Juice Landry, Odell Beckham, Nick Chubb, David Njoku. They got to be able to get this going at some point. It can happen here on Monday night. I don't really like to bet with a heavy public favorites, but here we are, -2.5. I think you got to take Cleveland there. And that's it. That's it as far as this is concerned. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you my picks for the week by unit, how many units I want to bet on each. I'm going to do Miami for 1.5 units. That is, as I do this, I'm going to keep track throughout the year. The picks I gave you guys, just because I'm telling you I'm betting this many units, it can change as the week goes on. An injury happens or something happens. Sunday I wake up, I'm feeling, crazy. One of these games, I can double the units I bet on it. But just as far as we're concerned, keeping track for you guys, I'll keep track of this each week. We'll go over it, the bets I gave you guys, and see how we did at the end of the year. All right. So as I already told you, my first pick for the week is Miami, 1.5 units. We talked about that game. I just think 18 is too many points in a divisional game, even if Miami's atrocious. The next game we have, we talked about all these games, but Pittsburgh minus 3.5 versus Seattle. I got 2 units on that. I have 3 units on the Tampa Bay Carolina under. I don't see that game getting over with those bad offenses. I also have 3. I was trying to do this by units, but I see I skipped the 2.5 units. I have Arizona plus 13 for 2.5 units. Like I said, I might try to get down there and lay some money on the money line. It's plus 13. $100 wins you $550. I think I can see Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense not having the day that they had last week. So Arizona, 2.5 units. Oakland versus KC, getting that 8 points, 7.5, whatever it is. I'll take them for 2.5 units. I could see them, running the ball, slowing the game down. KC likely wins this game, but I don't know if it's by more than a score. They could win by a field goal. Jacksonville plus 9.5. I'm going to lay 3 units on that. Another game that's my second favorite game of the week. I know I just picked up on it here. Jacksonville plus 9.5. I think they're losing points, or rather, they're getting more points than they should be due to the fact that this Minshew kid is an unknown, but he didn't look bad last week, so we'll give him a chance here against the Houston defense. It didn't look great. And then my favorite pick of the week. This is my favorite pick. Atlanta plus 1.5. I'm gonna lay 4 units on it. I like the spot they're in here. Home opener against Philly. Philly didn't look great against Washington last week, and I'll take my chances. And all the public is all over Philly. This is a trap spot. Atlanta, they get their offense going. They flat out win this game. And that's it for the week. Tomorrow I'll be making DFS videos for DraftKings Cash GPP plays. So if you like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and you can catch all my videos coming out. I'll make one of these each week. I know the production quality isn't great, but I'm just here to give information. As I get better at this, I'll get fancy, all that fancy stuff, opening music, whatever. But for now, take my picks, make some money, and have fun. All right, good luck, everybody.